Test check. Test check 1. Test check 2. Welcome to another episode of Big Daddy's Take. We supposed to been coming at you with that second part of addiction. But with buildings, well, let me say this first. With my people dying across this country for no reason in the hands of law enforcement, with buildings burning throughout this nation, with protesters' crowds being shot into after the President of the United States of America said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. That's right, I said it. Because I can't, we'll get into that in a minute, but I can't believe that I ever would have heard that come out of a U.S. president mouth. But with all that being said, I found it in my heart to put that part 2 addiction off for right now, but we will come back at you. The Big Daddy Take is going to be a little bit of something that's a little different than you used to. I know you used to seeing a lot of video on YouTube, a lot of videos on, let's say, Facebook. What's that favorite, the president favorite, one that he's criticizing now, Twitter. You know, you're going to hear, if you flick through some of your pages since all this stuff started going on, you're going to hear some people just cursing almost every other word they say. Some against the police. Some are cursing every other word they say on their video about, the protesters shouldn't be looting and burning stuff. I've heard some spiritual videos also, trying to pray and bring us together. And I've heard videos for that go straight out to some of the families like George Floyd and Trayvon Martin and Breonna Taylor. If I get any names wrong, apologize for that, but it's so many. I mean, the list go on, and if you didn't hear a name, my prayers go out to each and every one who lost one. I want to talk about some of all the videos first that's out there, because Big Daddy Take is a little bit different. For one thing, if you know what I told you, I don't like making enemies because I don't believe an enemy will do anything for you. Not good for you anyway. So I don't try to make enemies. But I also try to tell the truth. Because I'm one of them that believe the truth will set you free. I'm also one of them that believe if you ain't gonna go in and tell the truth, don't go on at all. So before I get into some of the take, I'm going to tell you a little bit about another thing that make Big Daddy Take a little different. I can't go on here and just talk all bad about protesters burning buildings down, looting. No, I don't think they should do it. But I'm not going to get in here and curse them out and all this, because that's not what I'm going to do. For one reason, about 40 years ago, Big Daddy would have been one of them running in the building. Big Daddy would have been one of them throwing a gas bottle or something. And like I always tell you all, I'm glad that I finally come to a point in my life where I realize that my past is not my future. And I found out that if I tell my story, sometimes because the past I had may stop somebody that can't do the same thing that I did years ago and live in this society now. So thank God for our past, that's not our future. So I know I've been there. I was there when KKKs attacked on what we called then the Grove. You may know it as the northeast side of Greensboro. But I was there when the KKK was shooting people down. I was riding bicycles, and I remember I was so close over there into the area because if my first wife mother didn't live too far from there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I had to dodge on a bicycle because I learned the sound of gunshots at an early age. And I learned to go the opposite way of them, the opposite direction of the sound. And I'm telling you a little bit because I like to tell you where I come from, because if I don't tell you where I come from, you might not want to know where I'm going. I remember the Rodney King beating. I remember the buildings burning. I remember the beating itself being showed on every channel. But it didn't happen so much. I remember it was showing on every channel. Rodney King beating at 6. Rodney King beating at 11. These ain't jokes. These are real life stories. And no, I'm not Earthquake. And I'm not David Allen Greer. LOL. I told you it's going to be risky business sometime. I don't want you to get bored while you listen to Big Daddy's tape. Big Daddy Ray's tape. But I want you to know that I've been somewhere. And I came back and I got a story to share with you. But I want you to know a little something about Big Daddy before I tell you about some of this stuff that's going on around our nation and what Big Daddy take is on some of it. I'm not going to talk about the people who's making those videos that's cursing every other word. Love all y'all. I'm not going to give somebody else credit who doing the other thing, because then I'm taking sides. Big Daddy ain't here to take no sides, because this is Big Daddy taking. I want you to tune in. I want you to get something that I got, because I know it done brought good to my life. So, like I say, I've loaded up on a C-131 when they had the hostages in Iran back in the 80s, ready to go to war. But I tell you something, what's inside that plane, we had our own war. Because I thought I had got introduced to drinking. But let me tell you something, when you get on a plane full of people that thought they was brave until the real thing come and you see all that drinking, then you'll know. But I'm just letting you know I'll never forget being on that plane loaded up. And I say that because thank God it was called off. Can you believe before even the plane got up in the air? But, you know, like I say, been through drug addiction, been through a lot of stuff, you know, and I think that give me a right to come on here and share to the nation my opinion on some of this stuff, because I done seen some stuff. You know, I heard the mayor, I want to say the mayor of Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken, that's the place. And I, you know, like I say, I try not to write down like a whole lot of stuff. But I know it was in Minneapolis, I want to say Minnesota, where George Floyd lost his life. And I heard news reporter asked the mayor what do you think about the president's remarks about him. You know, about being weak, about not, shooting in the crowd or whatever. And something the mayor said about bricks and mortar is replaceable. I'm quite sure you can probably go through, I can relate to what he's saying, because I know if I go through Los Angeles right now, I'm probably not going to see no burning stores or buildings that remind me of the Rodney King beating. So I kind of know what he means. But like you say, lives can't be replaced. So you do got to think this thing out. You know, sometimes you may have to lose a few buildings and then put up barriers when the protesters sleeping or something. You don't just go in like the president said and start shooting, in my opinion. So I understand what the mayor said, and I had never heard it I have never heard it put like that, but I understand a better understanding of it now, because bricks and mortar can be replaced, but a life can't. We've been having protests a long time. I was only, I'm not ashamed of my age, but I guess I was probably 8 years old when Martin Luther King got assassinated. And mostly all I remember is noise. I guess I was too young. I'm not going to recite what I done seen on this TV then. I'm trying to keep it real and tell you what I remember as a person back then. I just remember a lot of noise. And I knew something big, bad had happened in this country to black people. I don't think we had a lot of brown and red and whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to say black back then. So, we've been sprayed with water hoses. It's just been a lot of stuff going on in this country. So just, be careful and learn something before you speak something. If you want to go on like I'm going on here now and you want to speak your piece, I know some people, maybe y'all use Facebook just to air out. That's a good thing. I mean, it probably can keep some people from killing themselves or whatever. But don't go on to try to convince people of everything that you know if you don't know nothing. That's all I'm saying. No, I don't know it all, but I'm coming to you with my experience. Strength and hope. Now, protesting. No, I'm not out there protesting with you. I think I've been through enough. But I'm going to tell you something about that video. All that stuff I told you I went through. I'm talking about that video when George, I'm going to say Mr. Floyd, was down on that ground and 3 officers. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you ever had a knee in your stomach or your back while you laying on your stomach, but that cuts your air off too. And you can't wiggle because another third one is on your leg. So you can't even move in another position to even try to get a breath through. And then you got another one on your neck. I've seen a lot of things in the military. I slept out with rattlesnakes. I've seen people get bit with rattlesnakes. I've seen people wake up with snakes around their neck. I've seen people wake up with centipedes stuck on their eyeball. But I'm going to tell you, that's the worst thing Big Daddy ever. Y'all hear what I said? Viewing that killing was the worst thing I ever viewed with my human natural eyes. But I ain't gonna go on here cursing. Because we all been through something. We all got a little something living down inside of us. Thank God he can keep it away, and thank God, he can remove it from you. I don't, quote unquote, believe all of mine has been removed out my body, but I believe I got a power greater than myself that keeps it from coming out, and I'm still working on that part about getting it all cleansed out. So forgive me if any slip out, but I'm going to try to give that power to him, because I don't believe I can keep it in myself. But that was the worst thing, as I say again, that I ever viewed with these human natural eyes. And I only can imagine how many of those people out there that ain't been through what Big Daddy been through. See, the more you go through, the more struggles you have, the more struggles you go through and you get to that other end, the stronger you is. But sometimes I think about how many of them people out there in our nation right now, these young folks that ain't been through nothing and done seen this video, they devastating. They think it's the end of the world in their mind. So you got to look at all that. That's why I always say thank God for my experience, because it made me a better person today, and it made me who I am, to have this knowledge to be able to tell you some of the things that I know they going through. But you think about some of those young people that ain't been through nothing and done seen this. they think it's the end of the world. I seen 9/11. I can tell you exactly what I was doing, and I could tell you I didn't care for boss man, 3 boss mans. I didn't care who told me not to get out that building when I found out the planes was running in there everywhere. Because we felt like it was running everywhere. I was a long time meat cutter, but I dropped that knife. And it was a while before I went back in that building. Because that was devastating. For airplanes to hit those buildings and you know people was in there. And I didn't say that that was the worst thing I seen, even though we lost over 2,000 Americans. Don't get me wrong. And I didn't say that, oh, that's the worst thing. I said, this I seen. Because it seemed like those 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes lasted forever. Yeah, I watched the video. That's how I learned stuff. Yeah, I watched the video. No, I wish I could have not watched it, but at the same time, then I'd be losing some more of my knowledge and things that I can share with people. But one of the reasons I say that that was worse to me than stuff I seen on 9/11 is those 7.5 minutes. I'm just thinking, you know, one of the cops, I know the other people standing by, they moved, they could probably get shot. So my hope wasn't even in maybe like we would have did 100 years ago and rushed, and at least, you know, because that was just cold-blooded to me, murder. But I was praying that one of those police officers, my God, you know, sometimes you could be on a call 7 minutes. Why ain't 20 more policemen done pulled up by now? Something. You know, I'm not going to say, I normally say when it's your time to go, it's your time. I'm not even going to say that right now in this. Whether if I believe that or not, I don't have to say it on this video. Because that was devastating to me. But I was praying that somebody else, some other officer, the ones that was there to me was cowards. They was cowards. I don't know how much pull the officers that was on his body had or whatever, but that little one that was standing there, I know he was a coward. Because I don't know how no regular human being could just sit there and watch somebody get choked out like that. Now, I know some of y'all say, well, maybe he ain't no coward. You know, all of them ain't racist. Some of them scared of some of the other cops. But that's just Big Daddy opinion that I think it was a lot of cowards that couldn't get that man's knee off that man's neck. And I seen enough riots that I don't believe that this is the end of times or nothing like that, or the whole city gonna burn down. You know, that's just the way that in this country we have chosen to be heard. And whenever you see riots and they real peaceful, just count them as a blessing. Because if you get enough of us that's angry now, together, it's going to be some balance. Y'all hear what I said? I said if you get enough of us together that's angry, it's going to be some balance. Especially, we've all heard that say the devil come out at night. You know. But I would like to see it all settle down. Why in the world your President of the United States want to pour gasoline on a fire instead of water? I don't know, because we can all talk about the looters and the protesters that's doing some stuff they shouldn't be doing, but in this country, if the United States president don't believe and don't realize how strong his word is, then you seeing what it can do. Yeah, I believe that one building less could be burning. Yeah, I believe that one less cop car can be burning if we didn't have a president that's making these remarks that he's making about the looting stars shooting into the crowd, making remarks from a sheriff. We all know about sheriffs back in the 60s. Even when I was little, the name sheriff, when I say the sheriff, I'm trying to find my mom and dad. I don't be around no sheriff. So he's reciting things that a sheriff back in the 60s said right after a brother then got choked to death, strangled, whatever you want to call it, on national TV. And when we got a crooked top cop, you all know about Bill Barr. I ain't got to tell you nothing about Big Daddy. It ain't Big Daddy's fault. That's just true. Y'all know about Bill Barr. You ain't comfortable with that. If you black, brown, you ain't comfortable with him being the top cop. Let's get real. He's working for the president. Everybody know that. That ain't coming from me. That's just a fact. It's making matters worse, whether you like it or not. The president's words since the beginning of time have always been a strong thing throughout this world. And when they can use them in that kind of way, it's probably even stronger. Because this protest needed love thrown on it. This protest needed action thrown on it. This protest needed forgiveness thrown on it. This protest needed a conviction thrown on them officers. It did not need gasoline thrown on it. And that's exactly my opinion, Big Daddy opinion, what the president of these United States of America did. But I'm not surprised. You know, I got a Twitter account. I'm not surprised. Just believe me, I'm not surprised. I'm a little shocked, but I'm not surprised. Because it seemed to get some of the things he's saying do for us being a president of the United States of America is so far away from the norms that sometimes I still get shocked, if that make any sense. Like it sneak up on me. But then after sneak up on me, I'm like, okay, I'm not surprised. So, to the protesting that's going around, it ain't gonna stop if I go in here and say, oh, y'all, please stop, you know. I'll be glad when it stopped, but I also want them to see what happened if they're gonna just keep on killing us. You know, I'm not talking about the part where the buildings burn and all that. I'm talking about where we come together in numbers. I'm blanking out the burning of the buildings and the, you know, I'm letting that be on the president. He the one that said all this. I'm letting that be on him. I'm talking about us coming together after things like that happen. When crowds was marching behind Martin Luther King and getting sprayed with water hose, when we come together in crowds against something that we don't believe in. When we came in crowds after the election, that many people don't come together for nothing. I don't have to come on here and say if I'm a Democrat, Republican, but you know that many Americans don't come together for nothing. But that's what we do in this country. We come together and we protest things that we think is wrong or things that we don't believe in. The blacks, the whites, it don't matter. That's what we do in this country. We're not supposed to be shot at because we do it. You don't want us to burn up a building, then bring the National Guard in and stop it. You know, do something to stop it. Set up something. You don't have to kill people. But for some of y'all young people that ain't been through nothing, you don't understand something, maybe you could just sit back and start watching some news or just sit back and start listening to some of this stuff because there's a reason for this season. There's a reason for this season. I know y'all heard that before. You probably heard it when you was little. You probably heard it when you was at church. You need to find out what the meaning of it is. There's a reason for the season. We can't let nobody, y'all hear what I said? We can't let nobody get choked to death like that on national TV and every single American be at home the next day. I understand that. And like I say, no, we shouldn't be burning no buildings. No, we shouldn't be doing no violence. But that's something the president should have been going on, trying to say something to calm everybody down. Not be that. I don't have that much power. My words don't have that much power to stop nothing like that. I could just come on here and tell you what I think about it. But that's something the president should be doing. But no, like I said, to me, throw gas on them. Because I don't know if they're more mad about what the president said or about one of our brothers getting choked to death down there on the street. I don't know which one they're mad at the worst. Because that was like a low blow to me. We are not a dictate country. He's not Putin. I'm just saying. Saddam Hussein, he's not no dictator. He believes he is, but it's going to cause a lot of trouble. Something that got me I don't even know the right word to use for it about this protest while the coronavirus is out. Because I told y'all on the first day, this coronavirus is real. The coronavirus don't care if you're protesting. The coronavirus don't care if you're going to a concert. The coronavirus don't care. It don't care. It's out there. And it feeds on crowds. Y'all hear what I said? The coronavirus feeds on crowds. Only way we get rid of the coronavirus is if we starve it. And you starve it by mitigation, by staying in. Don't have big crowds where it can't travel from one spot to another. You starve it to death. And I'm here to tell you, the American people has just bought the coronavirus, the biggest ribeye steak, baked potato, salad that you can ever think of, and pull the chair out for it and let it sit down. Y'all hear what I'm saying? We're feeding it when we need to be starving it. Do you hear what I'm saying? If you just walked up, we're talking about starving the coronavirus. That's how you get rid of it. But we're feeding it when we should be starving it. Y'all hear me? We're feeding the coronavirus when we starving it, when we get in groups of more than 10. When we get in crowds and we yelling and we screaming and we throwing lava spit pellets. When you scream, it goes further. When you scream, more of it come out. They even know about how many pellets it takes to actually get infected, or something they was quote unquote talking about. But believe me, when you're in a crowd, you're going to get enough of them. And then that's creating another. Now check this out. We're protesting. Okay? And I ain't knocking that. Because that was something really bad that happened. We're protesting. Okay? We're feeding a virus. We're protesting because our black and brown people getting killed. We're feeding a virus that's killing 68% of black and brown people. Some people say 70%. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Think about that for a minute. We're feeding a virus that's killing 70%, give or take, of black and brown people. We're protesting. Okay? We're protesting from a black man being shot for no reason, from a black woman being shot in her own home for no reason, and from a black man being choked to death on national TV, basically. Whenever you're being recorded with a phone, you're going to be on TV. Y'all hear what I'm saying? That's a lot of things going on with the black population. That's a lot to handle. But it ain't all, because we got over 40 million Americans out of work right now. You've been in this country long enough, you do the math. How many of those black and brown people you think is in that 40 million that's out of work? I told you it's risky business on the Big Daddy tape. How many do you believe of that 40 million that's unemployed is black and brown people, low class people? How many of them do you think? I'm telling you, that's a little too much on our plate right now. Where it go from here, I don't know. Seems like my time get up right when I'm in the mirror, getting ready to tell y'all something. Tell somebody something. You know how Big Daddy say, get ready to tell you something that you could go tell somebody that knows somebody. That you heard it from Big Daddy. I hope I was able to do this video once again, not to make an enemy, but to spread knowledge throughout the land. Well, Big Daddy, what you hoping to accomplish? You normally like to accomplish something on the tape. Well, let me tell you what I hope to accomplish. I hope to accomplish to bring people attention back to this coronavirus that's not going nowhere in the midst of it all. Do you understand what I'm saying? I didn't say don't protest. I want you to know that this ain't a protest like none we ever seen before. Because we are protesting in the midst of a pandemic. And for y'all don't know, pandemic means that it's in every country. If you don't believe it, Google it. They Google everything else. Pandemic means that it's in every country, every nation. It's gonna up another problem. But I don't know how. Nothing like that's gonna happen in this country without protesting, and maybe, buildings getting burned down. My belief is I've been around since I've been around. That's what's gonna happen. But some kind of way it's gonna have to stop quicker because this coronavirus is killing most of us. So once we realize our voice been heard, I hope we can all pull back and maybe fight this thing through social media or something, somewhere where we don't have to worry about the coronavirus taking out our uncle, taking out our brother, taking out yourself. If you fall in that category, you might be taken out without being in that category. Y'all know the category: underlying health condition, being 50 or older, 70, being in a nursing home. Y'all know the underlying conditions. We're going to have a problem after these riots is over. And I'm going to watch me some videos because I need some more knowledge, because this thing got Big Daddy confused. But I'm not going on here. If you got a video and you on there, you doing all that curse, I probably watch your video because I need to learn something from that video too. I don't approve of it, no, but that's not my business. If you got a spiritual video, I'm gonna go on there because I need to get something from it. If you got a video with some all that, I'm gonna watch that because I like to watch the age of people, what they saying. You know what I'm saying? I like to learn from the young and learn from the old and learn from the middle. Because I'm wanting to believe the only way you can keep what you have is by giving it away. I still believe it come back twofold. But just remember, when you come to the Big Daddy tape, these ain't jokes. Sometimes they may sound a little funny, but these are real life stories. So always when you know the Big Daddy coming on, get your popcorn. Get your Coke or Pepsi. No, they ain't paying me for the commercial. They ought to be. But get it. Because it's going to be a story being told. Real life stories. It's going to be the truth told, whether it hurt or not. You're going to be listening to somebody that ain't trying to make no enemy, but trying to spread the word that he done picked up, that found out that it helped him. That's what I'm trying to do to you. And I know that my voice ain't nothing compared to the President of the United States. I wish it was. I wouldn't be throwing gas on it. Even with my education, I know not to do that. And, I guess it's easy to make an enemy with the president, but if he was to happen to see this video, I'm only telling him true things that doesn't happen about him. So if he want to be an enemy to me because of that, I told you I'll tell the truth. I'm telling you stuff that came out his mouth, which I don't truly believe he's the type of person that care about that. But if you don't agree with him, you're an enemy to him, from what I've seen. But at the same time, like I told you, I'm not trying to make an enemy with nobody. But I'm going to tell the truth because I feel good about telling the truth. I told you it's risky business. I feel good about telling you the truth. So think about what you're going to do next. Are you going to call somebody that you know protesting and tell them that maybe start protesting over social media, the coronavirus is still out there? Know somebody that knows somebody, tell somebody you know. Or you going to go out there and join them? What you going to do? Whatever we do, Big Daddy be glad when we finish with it because we got too much on our plate. Yeah, black and brown people, we have too much on our plate. I ain't got it wrote down, but as I was saying, 40 million people out of work, and like I said, you do the math, you go do your arithmetic. You're going to be shocked when you find out how many black and brown people in that 40 million is out of work. It's a problem that is one of the worst problems since the Great Depression. Just that alone. And then you got the coronavirus. You got a pandemic out while we protesting in every city throughout the land. Yeah, I see a lot of people with masks on, but they're not N95 masks, okay? Okay, like they say. They're not N95 masks. We're feeding the virus. 40 million people out of work. Our people are getting killed in the streets. Getting killed in their own home. That's a lot. We got a president that's not going to make this situation better. Times like this only make you miss Barack and Michelle Obama. Times like this, wish you could hear a speech from Joe Biden. That's right, I said it. Because I'm talking about people that I know that got passion inside their body. And don't nobody have to tell me that. That's what it takes for this nation to hear. And I'm quite sure Barack will, if not already, share his opinion. Because his words are very, very still strong. But no, yeah, disrespect. He's not the president no more. But this president done brought him out before. No, in normal times, the other president wouldn't come and do that. But it ain't normal times no more. That's right, I said it. Barack will probably be doing a video soon. Because we still got some people in this country that the people will listen to. Now, we ain't gonna never have all of them that'll listen, but a real high number will still listen to former President Barack Obama and his vice president and Democrat nominee Joe Biden. Like they say, run, Joe, run. Yeah, we went over the night, but like I say, we got a lot of violent stuff going on. And I say violent because violent begins violent leads to violent. And I don't approve of what the President of the United States have said. And I know that don't seem like much coming from me. But I still like you to know that I don't approve of it. I don't think it helped. I think it hurt, really, actually. So let's just do a lot of praying. And if you could save one person, if you got one person that you could pull from the rally, go ahead and pull them. Not because they shouldn't be out there protesting against black and brown people getting killed. I'm almost as more concerned about this coronavirus that's still out there. You know, that's why I'm saying bring them back in if you can. If you have that type of power, you got a child, you could bring them back in. Bring them back in because of the coronavirus, and let them protest another way that won't bring harm to them or a loved one in their family. In other words, like I say, won't bring harm to them or no one else. Because doing it any other way is risky. You know my word. Risky business. So you know I always like to end the show with a little positive note. You know, at the end, you know, I've told you to, you know, let go, let God. Come to believe in a power greater than yourself. So, you know, times like this, you just got to get something sometimes that'll give yourself a relief. You know, it's a lot of people that don't realize that sometimes all they need to do is get away from themselves. But that ain't something anybody can do. So, with that being said, until we meet again on the next episode of Big Daddy's Take. Y'all stay safe and stay blessed. That's right. Stay safe and stay blessed. And a little slogan I come up with at the end of my show. I don't like writing it down because then I think it just comes from me only. I like to just try to say what comes to me because then I believe that comes from my power greater than myself. So tonight what comes to me is stay safe, stay blessed, stay prayed up. So remember, one thing I always say at the end of my show, and y'all know it's coming. Remember, yesterday is gone. And tomorrow is not promised. And like I say, so many of y'all heard Big Daddy say before. Please stay in today. Stay safe, stay blessed.